Welcome. This is our morning Sangha chat, Saturday Sanghas with the tribe. And I am Lisa. Isla is my spiritual name. So for those of y'all that know me, obviously you're in my program, but I'm also adding this to my YouTube here so we can just get to know each other a little bit better. And today I'm talking a little bit about my new studio. I have some of the ladies on from our tribe, and we're talking about summer practices, what we're doing for summer, how our schedule has changed for the summer, what our daily practice, how it's shifted and changed, and then what that looks like. So if you want to just jot your name down in the chat so we can all take turns chatting a little bit about that today. My practice has shifted completely over this last year. So I'm going to take a quick drink here. It's been quite a year for a lot of us. We just got back from Hawaii, so I want to speak to that a little bit as well. And so our Hawaii trip, oh gosh, Hawaii is just incredible and amazing. If you have been to our Hawaii retreat and you're on the chat, I know two of y'all here came and said, love to hear from both of y'all. And if you've been to any of our other retreats, I'd love for you to speak to that as well. So we came, I had spent about almost 3 weeks in Hawaii with my partner, and we had an amazing time. We took about 10 days, we went early, and we have a condo out there and stayed at the condo on the Big Island and just had a really nice time decompressing, prepping for our retreat and things like that. And that was down in Waikoloa. Kona is like right there on the west side of Hawaii, where you have all the beautiful beaches and there's all the shopping and restaurants, but it's also really unpopulated. So the Big Island is not like super busy like you would imagine in someplace like Honolulu or something. So it's very it's a large island. It's very spaced out, and so there's not a lot of compact density of it's really kind of like a small town feel. And so that's what I love about the Big Island. And that's another thing about the Big Island, is it has so much diversity in the landscape. There is, out of all the different types of terrains and climates in this world, there's 13 on the planet. There's 11 of those climates on the Big Island. So with Mauna Kea, it actually has this huge observatory at the top, and it's snow-capped even a lot of times. So a lot of people have no idea that that's like that. And there's a climate called the cloud forest, and the cloud forest is it's like a rainforest, but it's actually in a cloud. And so we ended up staying in the cloud forest. So originally, when I had planned this retreat in 2019, we were staying at Kalakekua Bay, and this was down in kind of a rainy area, a rainforest area on the bay in south of Kona. And then that retreat center actually ended up closing during COVID. And then we had a woman that signed up for our training that had a property in the cloud forest, and she said, hey, why don't you stay and use my property for our retreat? So in 2020, we moved our retreat there. And it's a really different climate than down by the beach in Kona. It's a jungle, it's raw, it's untouched. A lot of the area has never had a human on it. It's just brand new land, and it's incredibly transformational. And it rains a little bit every day, then it gets nice, and it's never super cold this time of year. So it was a really incredible climate to stay in. So we stayed there for the next week during our retreat. We were down the street from a coffee farm, so we went up to the coffee farm several times during the week and did yoga, which was really fun. It was super pretty. And I have some classes that I'm going to be adding onto my YouTube as well, from recorded in the cloud forest. And also Amber here on the chat recorded a class in the cloud forest. So we'll be putting those up for y'all to take. And then we did a day of snorkeling together at the beach at Kalakekua Bay, which was just incredible. It's so beautiful there. There's so many fish, and the reef is just so alive. It's just beautiful. I don't know if the two of you that did snorkel over there want to speak to that. I don't know how many animals you got to see. We got to snorkel a little bit on another day that we went out to the beach as well. And we saw a humongous double rainbow, which was probably the brightest rainbow I've ever seen in my whole life. And we got some pictures under the double rainbow. It was incredible. Did some yoga in the cloud forest again on Sunday. We had an opening ceremony and a closing ceremony. We did some drumming, and we went out to eat a couple times at some local restaurants. And we spent a lot of time and downtime in the cloud forest, just decompressing and um, relaxing. And we watched Moana one night, which was really fun. And so, yeah, it was just an incredible retreat. So this summer, my practice has really been so off point because, of course, I spent 3 weeks in Hawaii. So I had to have a different type of practice while I was over there. So I did my meditation at night, watching the sunset. And so I had a sunset practice that was really became very, very strong. So since I've come back, I've kept up that sunset practice. And we've been going out walking the dog and our dogs every night and watching the sunset. We live in a new neighborhood that I moved to right before we left for Hawaii. We literally moved in. And so came back and we've been moving in and settling. And it's on a little lake in Waxahachie, Texas. And so it's a beautiful space to just walk around. And so we've been doing a dog walking practice. And I work with hape, which is a sacred snuff. And so the hape is a wonderful practice for getting in tune with the plant teachers and the plant medicine. And so it's a tobacco based, it's from sacred tobacco. And so I'll sit with hape at the lake and watch the birds. And we've had bats coming, which is really cool. So watching the bats and all that kind of stuff. So getting it back into my daily practice has been a challenge because I didn't have a place to actually set up my practice. And that's like the first thing that I ask y'all to do in our program, right? Is to find a place in your home where you have a steady and strong practice. If you don't have a space set up, it's really hard. And so that's why that's one of the very, very first things that I have you do. And so that was my first goal when I came back from Hawaii, is like to get my studio space set up here. You can see I have my studio here, and then look, I'm going to show you a little bit. I've got my mat here. So I've got my mat set up. I've got some tapestries up. I got my camera set up and all that stuff. And so as I have my practice here too, I hope I could also teach. And so not only for my personal practice, but also for my teaching, it's been, so amazing to finally have my space set back up. And so that's really what's been happening with me, is I've been really focusing on just going back to lighting my candle every night. And I'm having my sunset practice and back to my daily practice, like back to the super basics, and that's really where we start. And also we set up a meditation space in our backyard and put up a little tiny pool and an umbrella and some lawn chairs. And so I'm really excited about that because we've been able to not only dip our feet in when it's hot during the day, but also at night we've been floating and looking at the stars. And so that's been my practice. And so that's really what I'm doing. I'm not going anywhere this summer since we took that long trip to Hawaii, but my daughter is moving off to college. And so that's going to be coming up here in a couple weeks. I can't believe it. Just, yeah, it's happening. And my son is moving across the country from Connecticut to Washington at the beginning of August, actually the week right before his sister moves. And then we have our other son, my partner's son, moving back. And he's starting high school here. So there's a lot happening. And so, yeah, that's really a lot in transition, but getting back to my daily practice has been so life-changing. When I was not having my space to practice, I just felt so off. And so now all the creativity is flowing. I have some new programs that I'm developing. I'm really excited. I'm starting a year-long coaching program here for really deep work and deep dives. And we'll be hosting a retreat in Costa Rica next year. And so I'm really excited about the Costa Rica retreat. We have a 1-week yoga and surf retreat, which also is where you can get your hands-on hours for my 200-hour and my 500-hour online. And then also we have a 2-week following up after that for a deep dive, deep work with indigenous medicine, sacred tools, Reiki, crystal healing, and working with like cacao ceremony. I'm sitting with plant medicine, taking hikes into the jungle, and working with the local tribe called the Bree, doing cacao ceremony. So this is all part of the culmination of our year-long training that we'll be starting. So that's really where I'm at. It's a reset, it's a new start, but it's also deepening what my Dharma is. I know I've talked to you before a little bit about Dharma, and Dharma is really about like living our path of our truth, right? And taking and showing up to the world in the way that you show up authentically to your truth, and living that truth both inside and outside. And so that's really where I'm at, is just fully always living in my Dharma and never not. And so I've been living in my Dharma, for quite a long time, especially since I started this program in 2015, showing up for y'all, and that's been one of the main reasons why I'm here, is to show up for you, because it helps to keep me accountable. And a lot of us are also mothers, and that's also our prime Dharma. So if your ones are little, that is your Dharma, right? Like taking care of your little ones. And then you can start to, as they become wonderful humans, and they are more self-sufficient, then you can start living your truth in the world, as you've developed and brought them into the world as well. So a lot of you are also in college, and I know many of y'all have gone back to school. So I'd love to hear how your Dharma is playing out in your life as well. So I know that you guys have signed up here to chat, so I'm going to turn it over first to Amber. So Amber, if you want to jump in, I'm going to go ahead and mute here.
Okay. Hello, everyone. It's good to see everyone. Summertime, I work, so it doesn't really change my work schedule. But I do like that summer is so beautiful to where I can go outside and I can practice more outside. Even though it's hot, I'm okay with that, because I just need I need the sunshine after being inside all day and just cooped up. So I try to, in the evening when I get home, just practice outside. I have like 3 different spaces, just because I don't have one big space, but I have like my bedroom for my meditation. And then I have the living room for like the yoga when it's too hot or too cold. And then I have right outside the porch. And right now the dogs are trying to play with me. So I'm trying to teach them to stay away while I'm playing. But the little one, she comes up all the time. So it's practice has changed a little bit, because you have to ebb and flow with her. But other than that, I like the summertime. I feel like in the winter, I often cocoon in and just kind of, I don't want to go outside and practice because it's too cold, right? And so I feel like in the summer, I'm able to like go out and practice more for like my 10, 15 minutes and get more time in. Just randomly, and like on the weekend, I can just do it multiple times during the day if I wanted to. I could go out and do a little flow, then later I can do another one. So I do feel like summer is usually my more creative time to flow and to kind of actually practice and increase my practice. So, and then I do teach on the healing arts. I do a Sunday mornings. And then I've been teaching some random for some friends here and there. Not a whole lot, just because I have a lot going on. But the goal is, I was talking to my friend, I'm like, the goal is to eventually teach more. I don't think that I want a studio per se, but I do like to go in places and hosting retreats, or going and just kind of traveling and doing the yoga. So I haven't quite decided. So I'm still kind of in my little brainstorming phase of what I like, what I don't like. And so I would say definitely um, Hawaii was the most gorgeous. I mean, the beaches, the water, the forest. It definitely was different than the Hawaii I always saw in the pictures. Like on the pictures, I didn't realize there was like jungle and forest. I don't know why. Just, I don't know if anybody else is with me, but you always see Hawaii and they're like, it's all just beaches. Well, I know there's got to be something else on the island, right? So it's definitely a different than what I expected. I did love the cloud forest. Getting to walk through it was amazing. We got a tour through it with Norman. He was so awesome. Getting to see it and just be in the middle of nature. But I'm definitely a more of a beachy person. So that definitely was different for me. So I know every time we got to the beach, that was my like, hi, the earth sung to me at that point. And so I'm like, okay, that's where Amber needs to go all the time. Amber needs to go to the beach and just dig the sand, in and enjoy the salt water. So that I loved. Snorkeling is fun. I I saw a lot of fish, but my snorkel thing, unfortunately, it was tight. It bruised my nose. It was crazy. So if you get the whole head one, just be careful because it does, like it's so tight it bruises your nose.
Yes, that did that to me too, and so I had to
Yeah.
buy a mask.
Yeah, that was my first time using it. So, caveat to everyone, they look awesome. They don't let water in, but they sure are tight as heck. So, maybe not, maybe take another one just in case. But that was beautiful. I always love snorkeling. And I think I saw like 1,000 sea urchins at one point that I was scared to even put my body down. And I was like, just keep floating and suck it in, suck it in. Because you like the rocks were right there. And I was just like, oh my God, I'm about to scrape on these things. So it was pretty cool. I just see black spots everywhere. But other than that, that was my big trip this summer. We're gonna do weekend trips. I've already talked to my son, little trips like down to Waco. There's a lake. We're gonna go paddle boarding. We're going to go to this little falls place just for some fun time. And I may take I may take him to Mexico. I'm planning on taking him in November to Mexico on a yoga teaching trip, but I think I may do a summer one real quick just because he hasn't gotten to do a lot this summer and he's just home all day while we work and he needs that. So that may be something I may just take him with me real quick. That sounds fun, right?
That would be fun. I think it's a great idea to involve your kids as much as possible. So tell us a little bit about where you're at in the program and what you're focusing on for your program.
So I'm in the 500 hour. I'm in module 2. And so right now, module 2 is you're working on some thinking of your own classes. You're also practicing some. I'm working harder on some of my inversions that I can't do, like my headstands and my handstands. And so the other day, my son was helping me, and he was a good spotter for like the first 3 times, and then he let me roll a few times. So thank God I saw the chiropractor the next day. I was like, yeah, my neck's all messed up. So he readjusted me. So I was like, yeah, I don't know. I was trying it in the middle of the room. Let's try it on the wall. Note to self, try it on the wall first. Yes. So that's my goal. Is I told Lisa I have a few inversions I wanted to do, and then like Firefly and a couple other. Those are my goals, and so it's just kind of pushing me to try newer things that I haven't, go a little further, and then just recording more smaller video segments of teaching. And so instead of like the whole class and thinking it's like smaller segments, which I'm enjoying to kind of dive in a little deeper on certain areas and how you cue for it. So
Yeah, that's really where we dive deep in our 500 hour is to like take all that you've culminated and learned up to this point, and then just take and be able to teach this little segment here, teach this little flow here, teach this specific, way to get in and out of an asana here, and then you can put it all together, which I'm looking forward to seeing that coming from you, Amber.
thank you.
Thank you for sharing. I'm gonna see who's next on the chat. So my chat just went away. Here it is. Okay, so Becca, and then Alora, and then Eden. And I don't know if Jennifer is going to share today, but if anybody else jumps on, please put your name down.
Morning, everybody. Becca here. Let's see. I haven't touched base in a week or so. It's great to see everybody on. Wonderful, beautiful morning here in Iowa. I'm grateful I live in a town where it's very seasonal, so there's always something going on. It's a little lake town, so later we'll be going on the paddle boards and stuff like that. But this summer so far, I went to New Hampshire with my daughter. I went to New England, Boston, where I'm originally from, and we climbed a mountain together, and that was pretty wild and wonderful. Which basically meant I carried her up and down most of it, but it was it was a great workout. I'm in the 500-hour class as well, and I actually need to put in a lot of my stuff, enter it all in because it probably looks like I haven't done a lot, but I've done a lot more. I'm about to start module 3. Um, I've been doing some teaching here on on the side, just more practicing on my own, but like people are following me and wanting to do it with me, which is kind of inspiring and wonderful. So I've been doing it volunteering in the garden here. We have this beautiful central garden in our town. And last week, I think at least 12 people showed up, and it was crazy and it was fun. And they were like, we had no idea that was your first time doing that, and it was really
I'm so excited about that, Rebecca.
uh,
Oh
yeah.
my gosh,
So
that's
I
great.
want to talk to you guys about, setting up where I can start teaching and getting some of my hours in. And I know that I'm ready to make a call so we could touch base with some stuff. And I had a huge shift in my life. So yeah, so I am starting kind of over like everyone again of my life, like it's like round 2. And I'm okay. Like I'm like a cat. Somehow I keep landing on my feet. So
Yes, I love that. Yes,
yeah, I'm very grateful for that. So,
not
but
easy to do.
yeah, it is not easy to do. I run a very successful business. I'm blessed, and I am surrounded by people that love me, and I wouldn't be able to be where I am today without this. So I think this is part of this yoga program. I never intended on teaching or even doing much yoga with it. It was more of the lifestyle and inspiration and the tribe, being part of something bigger and greater. So, but now it's like it's changed my life. So, like, I think how you put it in your book is if you do it like once or twice a week, it's kind of like more of a habit. But like you start to see body and mind transformations if you do 3 to 4 classes a week. And sometimes when you're going through that crazy stuff, it's hard to sit down and meditate. So it's been a real life changing experience for me to be able to like switch my brain over with meditation, with breathing. I'm doing lots of gardens right now with bowls and everything. I love it. That's my favorite sound right now is vibrations. It calms me. Oming is great as well. But stuff like that, like giving back, I'm ready to move forward with this and kind of like stay grounded and pick myself up because I know that it's been really hard to put my body into these poses and use it. I love how it's like it's a medicine. It triggers the brain to thinking less emotional and really helps you stay grounded with yourself personally and put yourself first and self-love. So um and just you guys showing up helps me stay accountable with all of this on my work and my journey. So thank you all very much.
Thank you so much for sharing that. I think this has been a really, really, really rough time for a lot of us. Got my dog here. This is Athena. She's my little girl. So she's stinky, stinky dog. So, it's wonderful. Pets are wonderful. Kids are wonderful to keep us just really outside of ourselves. It's hard not to get caught up in the things that are happening in our life, especially when they're extremely turbulent. But, we have to keep showing up for our family. We have to keep showing up for our tribe. And that's what, like Rebecca was saying, is that here, honestly, without y'all, it would be very difficult for me to show up for myself because I'm showing up for you on times that I normally wouldn't even show up for me, and that's like what Rebecca was saying too, is that we don't sometimes intend on teaching. We might be doing this for the lifestyle, and it's an incredible deep dive into the lifestyle of yoga and meditation. And sound healing and mantra and chanting and all that is so transformational. And when we show up for ourselves, we can also show up for others, but also when we show up for our tribe, we show up for everybody. When we rise, she rises, right? And so this tribe has been just incredibly transformational. And so thank you all for showing up for you and showing up for us, because together we're stronger, and we can make it through things that we may think that might have broken us before. And so I'm really just so honored to stand here before you and know that I have been through the fire. I have been there. And I'm still going through it, but it's not chaotic, like it becomes like, oh, okay, yeah, I can do that. I can totally do that. And so that's where we're at, is we're showing up for each other. So who's next? I think that someone mentioned that they couldn't chat. So whoever's next on the list can jump in there. Eden?
It's okay. I'm back from the
Oh,
doorbell.
okay, great. Hey, hi, Laura. Just share where you're from and then a little bit about where you're at and how your practice has been, and teaching for the Healing Arts Community Group on Facebook.
Okay, I'm Alora. Good morning, everyone. I'm from Manitoba, Canada, and I am in Module 3 of the 200-hour program. I'm almost done Module 3. I'll probably be done this week, which is exciting. And I started teaching in the Healing Arts community, which was a big learning curve for me because I've never went live on Facebook before. So I didn't even have Facebook before I started this program. So that really has shown me how to use Facebook.
That's a really huge learning curve.
Yeah. So far it's gone well. My first class, you couldn't see my head for most of the class, but you know what? The second class you could, so it's getting better. Yeah, I'm also in university right now. I'm in 2 classes, so I think that's been helping me get my assignments in this course done as well, because I've been slotting out times for my classes, and I've added this into a specific time, so I just have a certain time of the day when I do it. So that's been really, really helpful for me.
What a great tip. That is an amazing tip.
Yeah. So for summer wise, we, as of today, we're allowed to have people in our houses again. We weren't allowed to have people in our houses yet, but we can have people in our houses. So I'm going to a cabin in a small town near one of our lakes with a couple of friends, and it's just an Airbnb, and we're going to spend some time together there because we haven't been in the same house as each other in so long. And then I'm also the following week going to go camping in a tent for the first time with 2 other friends. So we're going to see how that goes. There's a fire ban on right now here, so we can't have a fire, and that's how we were going to cook our food. So we're going to see what'll happen. A lot of sandwiches.
You can pick up one of like those little tiny grills.
Yes, we need one of those.
Yeah, like Target or something.
Yeah, something. Sure. Yeah, I think that's everything. My practice has been pretty steady because I've been trying to keep my schedule the same all throughout summer. I am still working. I work at a bookstore. So I do that. I do my school, and then I do this program as well. So I just have a really set schedule, and that's how I've been getting everything done.
That's a really great piece to expound on. So how did you get your schedule set, and like what are you doing to keep that as part of your practice and make sure that things don't come in the way and interrupt that?
Yeah. So I wake up the same time every day, and I go to bed the same time every day. And I think that really helps. So I've made sure that I give myself enough time every morning to do my yoga, to do my meditation, to eat my breakfast without like interruptions, and like make a breakfast. And then after that, it's usually like 8:30. I start on one of my classes, and then I'll do that for an hour or so. And then I'll start the next one, and then I'll do my yoga assignments, and then I'll have my lunch, and then I'll go back. And so that's usually set. I usually work more in the evening time, so it's easier for me to get everything done in the morning, and then I work in the evening time, and then I'll come home and I'll like have my dinner. I'll do my nighttime yoga, my nighttime reading, and then I'll go to bed the same time. So it's just, and it's not repetitive. I know it might seem repetitive, but sometimes like I throw in like a walk with friends, or recently I've taken up roller skating. So I've been doing that. Yeah.
That's wonderful. I think that's such great advice. And with, with you learning this type of ability to schedule yourself and be in control of your schedule, it shows that you have really a lot of aptitude and also the ability to really be a strong entrepreneur, because that's what it takes to run a business, is that kind of discipline. So I'm really proud of you. You're kicking ass, man. You
Thank
really are. Kicking asana. So yes, thank you, Laura. Well, I'm so glad that your COVID restrictions are finally being lifted and you can do stuff now. So that's great. So anything else?
I think mostly that's it. Oh, I know a couple chats ago I asked about water and how to like water better. So I did go out and get some filters, and I got some filtered like water, and some flavoring, and it's honestly great. Thank you so much.
Okay, so did someone suggest that in the program?
Yeah, a couple people suggested getting water flavoring and like filtered water or like spring water,
Mhm.
and I tried all of that, and it has really been helping me drink more water.
Oh, good. Yes. Yay. Awesome. Yeah, it's super important to get our water intake in. Yes. So yay for that. Good. I'm glad you're developing that as a healthy habit as well. So yay. Good. Awesome. Well, you're halfway through and you're doing great on your classes. And I'm glad you figured out your camera angle. So that's a huge learning curve. So I'm going to turn it over to Eden.
Yes, good morning, everyone. So I'm Eden, I'm in Austin, and I also went with Lisa to Hawaii, which was really, it was a really good time. Like, I really enjoyed myself because for the first time in a long time, it felt like it was like, when you can go and feel like, or be a kid again, play in the water, like just have fun, and getting to connect with like everyone that you see on the morning chats here. Like, I think that was really cool because I was just thinking about it this morning, like hearing Amber talk about like, her experience in Hawaii and what she plans for the summer and what Lisa has going on for herself, like just connecting that all together. I think that's really amazing. And then also building up to it, like I kind of used Hawaii as a like reward after going through the 200-hour teacher training. And so like now going with a group of girls who I've known but not really known for a whole year, like that was really fun, to like, kind of put the bow on the package and just do like put it all together. Yeah, so that was my experience in Hawaii. For the summer, we plan to take, we are actually going to LA next week, first to Arizona for a baby shower, and then a week like trip to LA just to, kind of have like a little summer vacay for the little family. And my son starts preschool next month, so that's pretty exciting. So we're just like getting all the travels out of the way now. But yeah, so we're doing a lot of that, spending a lot of time with family, because I know once school starts, I think we're going to like kind of be at home more. So, kind of going with the season, like in the winter, we start to like stay at home, just be inside more. So we're utilizing the time we have now for the summer. And then teaching wise, what was really cool was first connecting with Amber, and then she was telling me about teaching travel experiences. So I just signed up with this, what is the site called? Like fitness travel. But anyway, they I'm going to Cancun like the second week of August. So like right before summer ends, like we're going on another week-long trip. So I'm really excited for that and like teaching on the island because yeah, like that being in Hawaii and like teaching and being part of like you know something bigger like retreats and things like that, something that I want to do because we like as a family we just want to travel more. Like you know we're already talking about going to Europe next year for like a whole month-long trip. So we're like that's what we want. We don't really want to stay in America, but yeah, we're like inspired to move like everywhere else because Hawaii was just beautiful and like that's just right outside of like our four walls that we know. And, so like I'm ready for that. And then I was also really inspired to go visit my mom in the Philippines, like as soon as the COVID restrictions there lift. So, and that to me, I think what's going on out there, I think it's looking good. So that's happening. And then for my sadhana, for my yoga practice, I think like my morning practice has been kind of rocky with a lot of the change. Like coming back and like not moving again, but like resituating because if you guys have known me this past year, I've moved a lot and like my situation changed a lot. So that I'm laughing at it now, but I'm really thinking like I've done a lot these past like 12-18 months like that like for anyone who doesn't have a regular practice, I think it's really difficult to like stay grounded in and not be so like overwhelmed with so much change. Like even after like a few days in Hawaii, like that stability was like challenged. And I'm just so glad that we were able to overcome because we've all had that experience. I feel like I'm hearing like that it was hard to get to Hawaii, like in a way of uh like getting ready to go to like to leave for a whole week because that is pretty long. But like I'm kind of liking these week-long vacations. So yeah.
Well, I'm super excited that you're going to be leading some yoga classes at the resort in Cancun.
Yeah.
That's going to be awesome.
Yeah.
So exciting. And so, and when do you think you're going to be planning to head to the Philippines?
So okay, so they're just getting to they're giving out their vaccines now. So that's new. Like this is the first week that I've heard about it. And some of my family members have gotten it so far, but they're still like that tier 1. If y'all remember, we only essential workers get it at this point. So it's just the beginning phases. So maybe like borders will start opening up there for US citizens at least. Like I don't know, 6 months to a year. So I know right now there's like a 14-day quarantine if you're a citizen or if you're a child of a citizen or something like that, if you travel with them. So it's still pretty like my dad, he has dual citizenship and he was like, I'm just gonna wait it out here. This is too much. Like if I have to pay for a 14-day quarantine plus all the food and all the tests, like I'm just gonna stay here for like 6 months. So
Where is he staying at?
he lives in California, but
Okay.
he also has a house.
Oh, he was going to
No, he goes back every 2 months because that's like he really wants to move back, but my mom is just not ready. She's like, what am I gonna do there? So that's what he's like. That's how I grew up. He just goes back every like few months and comes back. He stays for a while, so I see him like 3 times a year.
yeah.
But that's just like how he like really wants to tell my mom he wants to move back.
Yeah, I can understand. I mean, if I had the opportunity to go to the islands and be there regularly, I would be there a lot more too. If I had family
Yeah.
there for sure. I'd be like your dad for sure. So I could
Yeah.
totally get it, like he's living both in both worlds right now, but yeah, I can see where he's coming.
Yeah. And that's what like kind of inspired me when I was young to like live that kind of lifestyle, because it's like it's really cool. And I'm just glad like my partner is kind of the same way, where he wants to leave also. So it's kind of cool. Go places for a month or so. I think that's awesome.
That's beautiful. Well, I'm so
Mhm.
excited that y'all are creating the lifestyle that you desire and things are just coming together for you. So that's so
Thank you.
thrilling. And just to, after you got your 200 hours, seeing how you're developing into your practice and showing up in the world to teach, and you're going to have an international teaching career here by starting your teaching in Mexico. You already taught in, Hawaii. So yay, that's amazing.
Yeah. It's definitely like the bow. This summer experience is like the bow to like everything that I worked for during the quarantine. So that's kind of cool.
Wonderful. Yay. Well, I'm going to turn it over to Jennifer. She's our last one to share on the chat today. So Jennifer, jump in here and tell us where you're from and how your practice has been going and what's been going on for you, as well as over the summer.
Good morning, everyone. Sorry, my camera was off earlier. Matt had to do breakfast for our guests this morning, and we're in Moab. We run a B&B, and he does breakfast to go. So he was up from like 2 to 4 making breakfast this morning for them to go off and watch sunrise. And little man was up from 1 to 2. So I am exhausted right now, and I have been exhausted, right along. So it's been kind of a rough couple of months here because I did a headstand like Amber, but I think mine hurt a little bit more or something because I just wasn't ready. And so I did some chiropractor stuff for a while, and they had given me muscle relaxers, which were helping, which I can't take anymore. So they have me going to physical therapy, which has been helping a lot, even more than the chiropractor, which kind of surprised me. But I've been doing so much stretching. So I've been slacking on like having an actual daily longer practice, but I've been more focused on just kind of trying to stretch and get everything back feeling good like it should. And then I start feeling better, and then I go and do something I shouldn't do, and like move hay bales to help my hubby or something that's a little too heavy, move a swing set, and I end up sore and hurting again. So I'm still trying to just balance right where I decided I'm not doing much anymore.
Yeah. Have you been taking any of the 101 practices and the relax restore practices?
Yeah, so I love the relax and restore, and I ordered the bolsters and nice meditation. That is so my jam. I love that.
Yeah, that's a great way to just keep your practice going, but not stress your body and heal. So yes.
Yeah.
Yes. Everybody, do not do headstand without a spotter and without proper conditioning, and wait until you're strong and in your practice before you even start practicing your headstand.
I was feeling good. I was going strong through the program, and I was going to the classes with a girl in town who was really good and very similar in style to you. And I was like feeling good. I'm like, yeah, I can do this. And I totally shouldn't have. So I've been paying for it. And then, morning sickness for the last 6 weeks has kicked my butt, and I'm just feeling really tired. So we're potty training, which has been a major undertaking, trying to do that around guests with like, no, you can't go over the neighbor's house naked. Sorry, So it's been a really interesting thing going on. And then, on a personal level, his best friend just got his parents separated. And so we're kind of in the middle of our friends splitting up, and he has his little best friend he doesn't see. So there's been some heartache going on like the last 2 weeks, because I feel for their little family, watching them go through this. So it's just been kind of a lot lately, I think, like everybody else has had. And so I'm struggling finishing up my module 2. I'm like so close, but I have the inversion video at the end, and I have to like make videos, and I've been kind of just not feeling the best for making
Yeah,
videos.
you can just email us and tell us, you know, that you have to wait on that because you're going through physical therapy. That's totally fine.
Oh, okay, perfect. That would be great because like I've looked through module 3 and some of the stuff, but I kind of got hung up in my head like I have to finish this before I move on. So sweet. But yeah, so I'm starting to feel a little better and hopefully gonna be getting myself back on track and caught up. And we're not going anywhere. Everyone comes to us. We got the business. So my highlight will be in November when my mother and brother come out to visit. And I think we're gonna take a little road trip down to like New Mexico. And I don't know if you've ever heard of Meow Wolf, but it's like this really cool interactive museum. And my brother really likes it, and I think our son will. So we're gonna go there and maybe go down to Truth or Consequences to the hot springs. So that's one of my favorite spots if you can ever get over there. And
Where is it?
the one we like a lot is called La Paloma, which means the dove, and it's in Truth or Consequences. And it's a spot where the water's coming up through the rocks in the bottom of these pool, like private room tub things. And
Wow.
well, it's interesting because earthquakes in Japan affect their water temperature and their water flow. So they're tracking like seismic activity everywhere, but it's not piped, so it keeps its structure, and it's just such a relaxing, awesome place. So if we can sneak there, if I have to drive all the way to New Mexico, I'm like, let's just go a little bit further and we'll throw that in. So I'm really looking forward to that. And so yeah, I'm gonna just try to get myself back on track. I've been doing like the lighting the candle and my basics just to kind of keep that in place. But I need to get back on track with the program because I am slacking. So, but I know I am. So we're gonna fix that.
Well, good. Well, I'm glad that you're feeling better, and I'm glad you're taking care of your body and listening to your body. And I know that you hadn't officially announced it, but you said something about morning sickness. And so I know we hadn't been on the call for a little while with you. So that's exciting and big news.
Yep. So baby will be here in February. So
Are you going to find out the gender?
we'll find out, but it won't be till like September. We just got our first ultrasound last week, so it's been fun.
That's exciting. So such a fun times for those of y'all that are young mothers. I'm living vicariously through y'all, and it's really exciting for me to watch and witness and be part of your journey. So congratulations.
Thanks.
So that's lovely. So yeah, I'm really happy to hear that those of y'all that have been practicing here on the call, representation of our larger tribe that's not on the call. But I do respect the fact that you're doing whatever you can to keep your practice up. And I've seen you where you've had major obstacles and still, come back and said, I'm showing up. So that's what we do. We just, we get knocked down and we get back up, and that's how we keep rolling. So congratulations for continuing to take care of you. You got to put your oxygen mask on yourself first before you put it on your kids and your family and your husband and your parents and all that, so we need you alive. We need you not only alive, but thriving. And so these practices, these tools that I talk about in my book are all about thriving, not just having a life of existence, but a life that we love, and creating that life and having this program as a foundation for what that looks like. And so I'm watching you create your life and live the life that you dream. And it's just, that's why I'm here. That's why I show up every day, is to help you find your passion and your purpose and your potential in the world, so that together we can create vitality, time, and financial freedom, and health and magic and adventure. And so together, that's what we're doing. And it's so exciting. So I'm looking forward to sharing with you more about our year-long program that's coming up. If you want to take a deep dive, if you're in the 500 hour, I'm going to talk to you especially about that as well, because that's the commitment I have to you, is to really work with you on that deep level. And so thank you so much for being on. I will post this video on my YouTube, so you'll be able to catch it there. And we look forward to seeing you on the next call. if you want to go ahead and unmute, and we'll all just say namaste together. Just have a quick sign off. Okay, thank you so much. Namaste.
Namaste.
Bye, ladies.
Bye.
Bye, Rumi.
Bye, Rumi. I miss you guys already.
I know.
You too. So
You're the
much.
best Rumi ever.
Thanks. You too. We were like rocks. Well, I was like a rock.
Yes. Me too.
All right, have a great Saturday.
Bye, you
Thanks, you too.
guys.
Bye.
Bye.